Hi, I'm Jackson. I'm a certified personal trainer, a certified kettlebell instructor, and I'm also a nationally published fitness model. I'm here today to talk to you about diet and nutrition. Specifically, the question I'm here to answer is, how do you put on lean muscle mass? Traditional wisdom suggests that you need to consume 6 to 8 small meals per day consisting of high protein, low fat, and complex carbohydrates in order to put on lean muscle mass and lose excess fat. However, recent research suggests that this is actually not true, and that nugget of wisdom is actually one of the more notorious myths among the fitness circuit. There's actually no evidence that suggests that eating frequent small meals will directly result in more energy being used for digestion throughout your day. In fact, research actually suggests that eating 2,000 calories spread among 6 meals per day uses the exact same amount of energy as eating 2,000 calories in one meal. What does this mean? Essentially, this means that it doesn't matter how many meals per day that you eat. The number of meals eaten per day is arbitrary in terms of building lean muscle mass. However, the content of those meals and the macronutrient breakdown is what's important. What you should take away from this is that the method that works best for you is really the only thing that you need to consider. You can eat 1, 2, 3, or even 6 meals a day if that fits your lifestyle. So let's talk about what you're eating and the macronutrient breakdown of that. So what should you be eating? You should be eating meals that are high in protein, contain quality fats, and contain complex quality carbohydrates. Protein is really the most important portion of your meal because proteins are the building blocks of muscle. Protein makes you feel fuller for longer, and it has little effect on your insulin, meaning it doesn't spike your blood sugar. How much protein should you be eating per day? This can depend on your lifestyle, but generally speaking, anyone who's working out regularly should be eating anywhere between 1 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is a little bit on the low end, while 2 is definitely on the high end, but you need to fall somewhere in that range if you want to put on lean muscle mass. I personally tend to take in about 200 to 250 grams of protein per day. That might sound like a lot, and it is. So a good way of meeting those requirements is by using a balance or mixture of both liquid protein sources and solid food sources. I take in about 60% of my protein from liquid protein shakes, and I take in the other 40% from solid lean protein sources such as lean ground beef, salmon and other fishes, and chicken. It's not really necessary to take in liquid protein shakes if you don't want to. It's a personal decision, but it does make it a bit easier in order to consume the number of calories you need and the number of grams of protein per day if you want to put on lean muscle mass. The rest of your calories should be spread amongst high quality fats and high quality complex carbohydrates. Some examples of high quality fats include olive oil, macadamia nuts, macadamia oil, avocado, almonds, almond butter, and Brazil nuts. Now, in regards to carbohydrates, I personally tend to consume only vegetables as my source of complex carbohydrates. Examples of this include spinach, kale, broccoli, asparagus, and carrots. The reason I do this is because for my job I need to stay extremely lean all year round, and I also tend to feel a little bit weighed down, a little bit heavier and bloated when I take in more heavier carbohydrates like pastas, oatmeals, and rice. I tend to feel a little bit more energetic and a little bit lighter when I just eat vegetables as my only source of complex carbohydrates. This doesn't mean that pastas, oatmeal, and rice are bad sources of carbohydrates or that you should never consume them, but they do tend to be higher in calories and they are a bit denser. You'll have to experiment on your own and find out how your body responds to different sources of carbohydrates and exactly what you need to take in order to meet your caloric needs for the day and your correct macronutrient breakdown. I'll typically use some of those heavier carbohydrate meals as cheat meals and use them on the weekends, maybe once a week, in order to replenish my glycogen levels. But if you're really looking to put on a lot of weight and a lot of lean muscle mass, then you might need to have a few more of these meals included in your week. Again, you'll need to experiment with this and see how your body responds. The unfortunate answer is that every single person is different and their body's going to respond differently. So, how many calories should you consume? I hate to say this, but again, every single person is different, so you need to find out exactly how many calories you need on a per day basis in order to maintain your current weight. The way to determine this number is to find out exactly how many calories you're eating per day and what the macronutrient breakdown is. Start by tracking everything you eat for a week. write it down or use one of those apps that tracks your calories, and then you can find out how many calories you need in order to maintain your weight. Then you need to find out exactly how many calories you're burning on a per day basis. One way of doing that is to use a heart monitor, but if you don't want to put in the investment and the expense of buying a heart monitor, there's some online calculators that take in certain variables such as height, weight, and metabolism speed and workout intensity that can give you a good idea and a rough estimate of how many calories you're burning on a per day basis. Once you know exactly how many calories you're burning and how many calories you need to maintain your weight, you can then throttle that number in order to either lose weight or pack on lean muscle mass. You want to take in about an additional 500 to 1,000 calories on a per day basis in order to put on lean muscle mass. Anything over 1,000 calories on a per day basis extra is going to start to pack on some excessive fat, which is something we really want to avoid, especially if you just want to put on lean mass. You want to stay right in that zone of 500 to 1,000 extra. Now, contrary to popular belief, it is possible to put on lean muscle mass without putting on excessive fat and going through a bulking and a cutting phase. And you'll find that you can meet that balance by only taking in around 500 to 1,000 extra calories on a per day basis. Alright, quick recap. Remember, the number of meals you eat on a per day basis doesn't matter, so do what works best for you and your lifestyle. Protein is crucial to your diet, so remember to really focus on that number and find out exactly how many grams of protein you're eating per day. You want to be at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day on the low end. So get your protein in first, and then you can balance the other factors such as high quality fats and carbohydrates to meet your caloric needs on a daily basis. See how your body responds to different carbohydrate sources. Also, see how your body responds to different number of carbohydrate intake on a per day basis. Lastly, find out how many calories you need to take in on a per day basis, how many calories you're burning, and then make sure to consume about 500 to 1,000 excess calories on a per day basis in order to build and pack on lean muscle mass. I hope this information helps with you packing on lean muscle mass. Thanks for watching.